Good Wednesday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich, and this is your outlook for September 24th, 2014. And we have a coastal system that we've been tracking for the last couple of days, thinking it was going to take a little bit of more of a south track, but when it became more evident, of course, that this is coming further north, we have adjusted accordingly. This was started with yesterday. We kind of hinted at it in yesterday's video here, but there were some certain uncertainties involved with this. One of those being this high pressure sitting up here and how fast it would move in, and it's obviously not moving in very fast. Also, the position of this high pressure here and the influence it would have in the system. It's actually acting as a blocking high to some extent because it's forcing it back in here, so it's not going to exit off the coast. Earlier, the models earlier in the week had this thing doing just a aimless trip out to sea here, but now it's actually going to take, here's a low pressure center. Here it's going to actually take a track just near the mouth of the Chesapeake, just east of Delaware and New Jersey beaches, and then head out. But because it's taking that path further north here, we're going to have a pretty good amount of rainfall across our coverage area here, at least in terms of how much falls within 24 hours. Most areas are like an inch, inch and a half, but some areas could get upwards of 2.5 inches, maybe even higher than that, if we can get into some of this orographic lift, and I'll explain that here in a second. So here is 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Still hasn't gotten into our coverage area here at all, but then we get to the next frame, which is actually 8 p.m. You can see it's getting into central and southern Delaware, also getting over into South Jersey at this point. As we go a little bit further yet, until we're after midnight here, now we're getting rain moving up to further north locations in our coverage area here. And by the time we get to Thursday morning, we're going to be in for a pretty decent amount of rainfall and some pretty heavy rain we're expecting Thursday morning over some areas. So our best chance for the heaviest rain time frame, is probably going to be the wee hours of the morning, early Thursday morning, and then continuing through Thursday morning. I think in the afternoon, once you get into Thursday afternoon, it starts to pull away. Here's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Here's the evening. You see it's starting already to dissipate and fall apart. Actually, the short-range models have a better handle on timing here than the global models do, and it's looking like this high pressure is actually going to start to move in and try to dry some of this out here. So when you have high pressure moving in, you have sinking air and dry air, and that's what we think is going to end up happening eventually. Going back to this image here, we have a couple different things happening here. Actually, I don't know if it's this image here. Did I get the right one? That was, yes, okay, so that is that image. All right, so you have high pressure that's sitting up here. You also have a low pressure sitting right here. So flow around a low pressure system is counterclockwise, and around a high pressure system, the flow is clockwise. So you see where the winds are coming from. They're onshore. All right, and mostly like an east or east-southeasterly wind. When you have a type of system like this sitting here in this area here, you have the central PA mountains that are sitting here back here in this area here. When you have an east wind or east-southeasterly wind here blowing up against the mountains here, it causes what's called orographic lift, which basically enhances the rainfall along the eastern slopes of the mountains here. And that's shown here on a couple of these models here, where you get these increased totals here further inland and further away from the shore points. Shore points are going to get their heavy rain, of course, down to Delaware, southern New Jersey, and especially close to the shore up to Long Island and into southern New England. However, we also think it's going to happen on the eastern slopes of the Appalachians for that reason. That's called orographic lifting, and that is going to allow the extra enhancement of the precipitation in those areas, at least on the eastern side of the Appalachians. Let's go over the new NAM. This is the NAM, the latest NAM that ran, and this is the 0Z run, starting at 2 p.m. Now this is an indication of total precipitation accumulated. So this is as you go through time, and we're going to start here with Wednesday afternoon and move forward, and it goes right through the overnight hours and into Thursday evening. So and then it starts to taper off as it moves out of here. But you see what I'm talking about here. This is the NAM now. It's a different model, show the same idea. See this area right here of this enhanced rainfall? This is where the orographic lifting would be taking place, and the model is depicting that and putting some really, really healthy precipitation amounts, over 4 inches of rain. In some areas, now this is probably overdone here, but it's actually showing 6 or 7 inches of rain here. I don't think we're going to get that high. That would be something. But you know, orographic lift can do those kind of things. But of course, our heaviest rains on this model here, which is particularly aggressive with the rainfall totals. All these oranges here and reds are in the 2 to 3 inch range here, and then of course, you know, we're over 1.5 inches anywhere else in these lighter beiges and lighter yellows. So, you know, it's really one of those deals where we think it's going to be over a large area, 1 inch, 1.5 to 2 inches. But you can definitely have higher amounts, especially where the, you know, along the shore points, where we think in this area here we're going to be having you know, easily 1.5 to 2.5 inches down in these areas here. But also in the areas where we have outlined for the orographic lifting, we have that on our weather alert maps page, indicating where that is too. So definitely a lot of opportunity for heavy precipitation, but this system will move out. Here's a look at Friday, and the system, high pressure, is sitting right here. We're going to be pushing in. This is going to be settling in for the weekend, and it's going to get our temperatures up too. I think we're going to have, with a ridge building and a loft, we're going to have some really nice temperatures as we get through this weekend here. Here's a look at Saturday. Again, high pressure sitting right here and in a favorable position. Sunday, still sitting right here and in a favorable position. Basically, your winds are cooperating as well with this high pressure in this system, and then with a ridge over top, which is actually much higher than this, you're going to have the warm air moving in, and you're just going to stay there for the weekend. So many areas are going to be in the 80s this weekend. I do think we're going to be mostly sunny. You know, maybe a few lingering clouds at the shore points to start here. As we get into Friday morning, we're kind of a clouds giving way to sun deal, but then it's mostly sunny throughout the entire weekend, and we're looking at 80 degrees or higher, and everywhere that I'm circling here, this is all should be 80 degrees or higher. And then of course up top here in the extreme northern New Jersey, northwestern New Jersey, and northeastern PA, you'll be stuck in the 70s yet, but at least mid to upper 70s. Up here we're talking about 80s in the area that I circled. So a very nice weekend coming up. If you can get through the next you know, the next day or two with the heavy rain, you know, then you know, we need the rain, that's for sure. And if you don't like snow, just be thankful that the calendar reads September and not January. We'd be in some serious trouble in some places, I think. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is your outlook for September 24th, 2014. Have a great Wednesday.